So another cost of inflation is an arbitrary redistribution of wealth if the inflation rate is unexpectedly high. If inflation rate is unexpectedly high, this will benefit people who are borrowing money or debtors, and it will harm the creditors. So let's go through a real quick example so you could see how this would happen. So if you have a scenario where, let's say, you lend someone money, so you are the creditor, you're lending someone money, and let's say you agree to a 5% nominal interest rate, and everyone is expecting a 2% inflation rate. So you lend out the money at a 5% nominal rate, the inflation rate you're expecting is 2%, your real return as a creditor is 3%. Now let's say the inflation rate, so you make that loan, the inflation rate turns out to be unexpectedly high. It turns out not to be 2%. Let's say it turns out to be 5%. So you lent money out at a nominal rate of 5%. The inflation rate turns out to be 5%. Your real return as a creditor is 0. Well, obviously, if you had expected the inflation rate to be 5%, you weren't going to loan the money out at a nominal rate of 5%. Why would you loan out money with a 0 real return? So what happens here is you're getting paid back in dollars that aren't as valuable as you thought. The inflation is higher than people were anticipating. So in that scenario, let's say you had expected a 5% inflation rate. Well, if you had expected a 5% inflation rate, you probably would have agreed to lend the money out at an 8% nominal rate. And then if you would have lent out at an 8% nominal rate, your real return would have still been 3. So you can see when it's unexpectedly high inflation, the party that wins from that would be the person borrowing the money or the debtor, and the party that would lose would be the creditor. Now, one quick thing, if it's unexpectedly low, it's the reverse. If it's unexpectedly low, then creditors earn a higher real interest rate than they intended on. So unexpectedly low inflation benefits the creditor at the expense of the debtor.